I'm here with Disguised Toast to chat about how the summer split has been on his first venture into League of Legends and owning a team. So first off, Disguised Toast, how's it going, man? You're in Taiwan right now, right?
Yeah, visiting family here, so the time zone's a little flip. I've had to wake up at 5 a.m. every day this past 2 weeks to watch my teams compete, but it is definitely worth it.
That's dedication. You've been spending a lot of time watching all of them. So for anybody who maybe is unaware for some reason, how many ventures have you tried going into like owning a team? Because we know League of Legends, right? That's what people here would know about. But what else you got?
We started with Valorant 6 months ago at the tail end of like 2022, and then we got into Valorant Game Changers, but that was still like the same game. So
Uh-huh.
when the League of Legends NACL stuff was happening, I asked like my staff like, "Hey, is it possible if we can just get one of these teams that are now teamless?" And I think we made it in the span of like 1 week. Like it went from an idea to actually the team being real in the span of 1 week.
Walk me through what that week was like, because that seems like a crazy schedule.
So the news broke about all the LCS orgs, seven of them dropping their challengers teams, and I always followed League as a fan, starting like 10 years ago. I remember watching in a room that I found off Craigslist in this like family's home apartment, not even a house. They were just renting it out for $300 because I was interning in San Francisco, and I remember just spending my nights watching League of Legends esports. And I followed. My favorite team was this team called Team Fear that became XDG, and it's like the team Xmidi was on originally. And I followed Scara, Dignitas. Like Jat was a player back then. They called him Scumbag Jat.
Mm. Wait, really?
Yeah, so I've been following League for quite a long time. And I had a Valorant team, and here comes an opportunity. Well, like seven teams are now essentially dropped. The player quality and challenges would be very high, right? Essentially, you get to pick from 35 of the best players in challengers to make a team now. So I messaged Riot and said, "Hey, we would love to get involved. What's the process? Is there qualification? Like, do we have to pick up players that have been in challengers? Because we don't want to like pick up the slot and just fill it with content creators, which was an idea.
Yeah.
But we wanted to pick up the best available North American talent. So we went after three of the five Cloud9 roster and up and coming talent like Young and Meech.
What have been some of the favorite moments you've had of the split so far? I obviously been streaming it, so we've gotten to see your live reactions. What have been some of your favorite moments?
Favorite moments is just there's quite a few of them, but it's just the consistency of how the team plays. Like Meech's play style is very aggressive. Is the
Hmm.
one thing that always stands out to me when I watch these games. And early on, you can tell he was a little too aggressive. Like him and Zazel would just not be on the same page. I would watch this guy just walk into river and die, and I'm just wondering like what Zazel's thinking. But if you watch his performance over the last 2 weeks, he's been like the guy to carry the game over the finish line. Like his score line on affiliates, especially, I think we looked at the stats. It's like 85% win rate. So it's really cool to see like Mish Young develop as like these kind of not as known players as the other three Cloud9 champions, become like great players in their own right.
Wow, so very player focused then, as like a favorite memory. How often do you interact with the players?
I probably type in their Discord like twice a week, to make a comment here and there. I don't,
Mm.
so my players kind of see me as their boss in a way because I pay their salary, and I don't know how to interact with someone in that kind of dynamic.
Hmm.
Because like as a streamer, I just have friends I play video games with, and now there are like these in my eye kids because they're 10 years younger than me. Um, and I'm their boss, but I'm also not very boss-like. So I don't want them to think I'm not cool or like stern or
Mhm.
anything. So I just pop into the Discord and make a joke here and there. But I kind of let them do their thing.
Sure, yeah. Watch from a distance.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other wins that you've experienced this split so far?
Other wins? I think it's just cool to see people in League talk about Team Disguise DSG. I've always wanted to be involved in League of Legends in some way. 8 years ago was me applying to be a game design intern for League of Legends. I passed the first 3 rounds and then I got rejected on the fourth round because
Ooh.
my answer, they asked me what's my favorite champion, and I said LeBlanc. And they said, okay, well, she's a little volatile in her playstyle because this was back when LeBlanc was pretty much you hide in a bush and you one shot the next person that comes along. And they asked me like, how would you fix her, like make her more balanced? And I said, well, I wouldn't. I like the way she is. Apparently, that's not the right answer in a game design interview. Um, so now being involved in the Riot ecosystem feels really good, especially League of Legends, because that's kind of where it all started for me.
Hmm. So just being involved. Well, it's cool that you mentioned, the new journey for you, because we've also had the conversation of other content creators, kind of hints of them wanting to get in as well. So, what other content creators would you like to join the scene, and maybe a little bit of nugget of knowledge for them, if you want to help them out?
Uh, Definitely Moist Moguls. Charlie and Lud are, great people. I always love working with them, and I know they'll do a good job and take care of their players and essentially be able to elevate them using their platforms. And they
Mm.
got into Valorant challengers, and I would love to see them in League challengers as well. Mr. Beast, of course, I know he talked about owning an LCS team last year at Worlds, but it's kind of expensive to get into LCS. I know there's a spot available and
Mm.
all, but like if all the cool content creators are in challengers, essentially we can make that the new LCS, and the old LCS is like, oh, that's just for sweaty players and like
For the tryhards.
yeah, the $1 billion orgs. There's no story there. But challengers, you got Mr. Beast, you got Ludwig, you got Charlie, you got Disguised Toast. Um, Maybe it's more fun there instead.
So you're hoping to just take over challengers basically, and just have it be the creator tournament.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like Challengers has been a while, like has been around for a while,
Mm.
and it's never really gotten that much attention. So I feel like it's the Challengers' time. They've sat long
Mm.
enough in the shadows. It's their moment now. I've been pretty transparent about how much we pay our players. It's not like a
Mm.
crazy amount. It's definitely something that a lot of like popular streamers could afford. Not that they should, because at the end of the day, you're kind of just bleeding money. But these players, they just want to play, right?
Mm.
They want to be able to make a living, of course, but they just want to pursue their passion of like hopefully one day playing at the highest level.
The players have been trying to help you out as best as they can. I know you've been watching the streams and the interviews, and they have been shouting out the Patreon. Who, in your opinion, has done the best job of shouting out the Patreon on the team?
Oh man, it's gotta be a tie between Zazo and Fake God. Zazo gives a more professional, like clinical shout out. It's like, hey, this really supports the team. Check it out if you can. And Fake God gives a more from the heart, begging on his knees, please support this Patreon, or else we're not gonna be able to afford rent. Um, I'm gonna give it to Fake God because he brings that human
Ooh,
emotion to it.
yeah, you can really feel the emotion coming out from him. Is that actually in the contract though? And now I feel like I need to ask that. Like, was that the stipulation? Like, if we don't get a certain number of patrons, and
It wasn't, which is why I was so surprised when Zazo first did it. And that's how I realized that he must have PR training because when he did that, I'm like, wow, most players don't even think that far too. Like my players shout out like me or like the org pretty regularly, but
Mhm.
never have I had a player shout out like something like a sponsor or Patreon. So what I was really taken back by that.
It was a fun moment, I think, for our stream and for yours as well. Any other message you want to give to anybody out there watching, either your own fans or fans of the team, people maybe wondering what's next for Disguised?
What's next? Just keep trucking along, seeing how this season turns out. My grand master plan is for us to win challengers and use that to say to Riot, hey, look, these challengers players are pretty good. I think they deserve a chance to play on the on the big leagues. And I know there's rumors that some LCS team like TSM might be exiting. Look, that's a vacant slot. I know FlyQuest, EG, and Team Liquid. They're the three LCS teams that have a challengers team. I want to say
Mhm.
each of them, like, don't be fooled by this narrative that they're sending the challenger players up to LCS to like make their LCS teams better. That's false. That they're lying to you. They're sending the LCS players down to challengers because they know there's way more glory to be won beating Team DSG than winning, the LCS trophy. Because like everyone wins the LCS trophy every year. It doesn't matter. You're just gonna go
Yeah,
get clapped
come
at
change.
Worlds. But to be the team that knocks out Team DSG at playoffs, it's not a coincidence that all three of these LCS teams are sending players down. When in the history of challengers has that ever happened? Like we always talk about this. NA teams don't promote talent from challengers to LCS. Like there's only a handful, like Blabber and JoJo, I believe, in the last 6 years. And you're telling me in the last 2 months it's happened 3 times? It's, hey, it's not a coincidence. And best of luck to them. I'm still very confident in my team.
How high is Meech's ping right now?
I think it's 420. Which is I don't know how he reaches that point because I'm in Taiwan right now and I've been playing League, and my ping's
Mhm.
like 160. So he's somewhere even further than where I am. So I have no
That's
idea.
crazy.
It's actually insane, but he's still able to like go get pentakills, get aces. So I don't know how he does it.